Have you ever been pushed to the brink of losing your temper? When someone disrespects you and all you want to do is react. The burning urge to defend yourself, to retaliate, we've all felt it. But what if the true power lies in staying silent? In a world that thrives on quick reactions and emotional responses, silence can be the ultimate weapon. But why is it that choosing not to react is often the most powerful move? What does staying silent truly say about your strength? Staying silent after being disrespected is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's one of the most profound demonstrations of strength. Too often, people mistakenly think that silence equals submission. They assume that if you don't respond with anger, you're somehow letting the other person win. But here's the truth. Reacting in the heat of the moment doesn't make you stronger. It only shows that you've allowed someone else's words or actions to take control of your emotions. When you let someone's disrespect make you lose your temper, you're not in control, they are. Have you ever seen someone react impulsively to an insult? Did they look strong, or did they appear out of control, losing their composure? The loudest voice in the room doesn't always command the most power. True strength is in maintaining your composure, refusing to let your emotions dictate your actions. It's the presence of discipline, not the absence of words. People will always try to provoke you. Some will test your patience, attempting to draw you into their chaos. They crave the power to disrupt your peace because they lack it in their own lives. When they see you as calm and unbothered, their power over you is gone. By staying silent, you're sending a clear message: you don't control me. This silence isn't about pretending you're not affected or bottling up your emotions. Of course, you feel the disrespect, you're human. But the true test is in how you respond. Do you waste your energy trying to prove a point to someone who doesn't deserve your words? Or do you choose to walk away? The strongest individuals understand that silence speaks louder than any reaction could. It unsettles those who expect a response and forces them to sit with the weight of their own actions, without the ability to deflect or justify their behavior. Some might argue, if I don't stand up for myself, won't people think I'm weak? But in reality, when you know your worth, you don't need to prove it to anyone. Think of a lion. It doesn't roar to announce its power, it moves with quiet confidence. And the jungle recognizes its presence. Similarly, when you carry yourself with purpose and self-assurance, others will see it without you needing to raise your voice. Silence is not about avoiding conflict, it's about choosing your response wisely. It's about protecting your energy and realizing that your peace is far too precious to be squandered on people who don't deserve it. Some arguments are nothing but distractions, and some words are simply bait. When you refuse to bite, you win without ever engaging. Next time you're faced with disrespect, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Does this person's opinion of me change my value? The answer is clear. No. Someone else's negativity does not define you. You are the one who gets to choose whether or not you carry it. Remaining quiet isn't about letting things slide, it's about making a conscious decision. A decision to protect your peace, to preserve your dignity, and to walk away knowing that your silence spoke volumes. Disrespect is a trap designed to draw you into an emotional reaction, to pull you off balance. And when you fall for it, you give away something valuable, your energy. Every argument you engage in that doesn't serve you is a drain on that limited resource. You have dreams to chase, goals to achieve, and peace to protect. Engaging in every petty battle only drains you, leaving you exhausted, not because of your own work, but because you allowed someone else's negativity to steal your focus. It's easy to notice how certain people thrive on conflict. They seem to feed on it, creating drama and tension, only to watch others lose their cool. But when you refuse to play that game, when you choose silence instead of reaction, you take away their power. You protect yourself from the unnecessary stress that comes with engaging in battles that don't benefit you. There are people who will test you, who will throw words at you, hoping to provoke a reaction. But when you remain calm, when you refuse to engage, they're left with nothing. Silence, in this case, is your shield. It doesn't mean you didn't notice the disrespect. It means you understand that your energy is far too valuable to waste on the temporary satisfaction of a reaction. Because, after all, that satisfaction is fleeting. A few seconds of speaking your mind might feel good at the time. But does it really change anything? Does the other person suddenly respect you? Often, it just fuels the fire and gives them more reason to keep provoking you. But when you choose silence, when your actions, your success, and your peace speak for themselves, you take away everything they were hoping to get from you. You show them that their words have no power over you. Now, let's take a deeper look at how silence can be a tool for your personal growth, how it allows you to focus on the things that truly matter and protect the energy you need to build a life of purpose. Earlier, we explored how silence can be your strongest form of defense, especially when faced with disrespect. But what happens when people continue to try and provoke you? When they throw insults or doubts your way, hoping to get a reaction? How do you handle those moments when the temptation to defend yourself is overwhelming? When people sense that their words aren't getting the reaction they want, they stop trying. They move on because the thing that drives them, the emotional response, has been denied. Some might argue, but I need to defend myself. I need to show them they can't talk to me like that. The truth is, self-respect doesn't always require confrontation. In fact, the highest form of self-respect is knowing what's worth your time and what isn't. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every insult needs a response. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply refuse to give someone the reaction they're seeking. The next time someone disrespects you, take a moment to ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Does this moment deserve my peace? If the answer is no, then let it go. Protect your mind, protect your spirit, and protect your focus. Some fights are beneath you, and walking away isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. In those moments when people try to get under your skin, the temptation to fire back is always present. The desire to prove yourself, to let them know exactly who they're messing with. But here's the truth. Words are cheap, and talk is easy. Anyone can say anything, but real power, real proof, and real impact come from action. Let them talk, let them doubt you, let them assume whatever they want. At the end of the day, what they say doesn't change a thing. What changes things is what you do. You don't need to argue with someone about who you are when your life already makes that undeniable. You don't need to waste time proving your worth to people who aren't even qualified to judge it. When you focus on your growth, your progress, and your success, your results will speak for themselves. This is the difference between those who win and those who stay stuck. The ones who waste their energy on arguments, on defending themselves, and proving themselves to people who don't matter, those are the ones who stay distracted. They get caught up in the back and forth, in the negativity, in the drama. Meanwhile, the ones who remain silent, who keep their heads down and keep moving forward, rise above the noise. By the time the doubters realize it, they're already too far ahead to catch. Silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. Some people will try to bait you into battles that don't deserve your presence. They'll provoke you, hoping to pull you into their chaos, hoping you'll lower yourself to their level. But when you choose not to engage, when you stay focused on your own path, you don't just win the argument, you eliminate it altogether. Success has a way of drowning out noise. When you're too busy building, growing, and leveling up, you don't have time for petty disputes. Think about the greats, the ones who truly left their mark. They didn't waste time responding to every critic, every hater, every doubter. They let their work do the talking. They let their results be the response. And that's exactly what you need to do. Don't get caught up trying to convince small minds of your greatness. Just be great. Keep moving forward. Let your consistency, your discipline, and your success be your reply. People will notice. They always do. At first, they'll try to bring you down. They'll say you're not capable, that you're wasting your time, that you don't have what it takes. But once they see that nothing shakes you, that nothing stops you, that you don't even acknowledge their negativity, something changes. They fall silent. Nothing confuses people more than someone who refuses to be affected by them. And when they see your success, when they see your progress, they'll have no choice but to acknowledge you. That's the power of silence backed by action. Staying quiet after disrespect isn't about letting things slide. It's about channeling your energy where it truly matters. Let them waste their breath while you build. Let them talk while you rise. Because in the end, it won't be your words that prove them wrong, it will be your success. Disrespect has a way of making things feel personal. Someone says something cruel, dismisses you, or looks down on you, and immediately, That sting hits. The natural reaction is to take offense, to want to correct them, to make them see you differently. But here's what you need to understand. Disrespect is never really about you. It's a reflection of them. It's a window into who they are, not a statement about who you are. People treat others based on what's inside them. A person filled with bitterness will spread bitterness. A person carrying insecurity will try to make others feel small. A person drowning in their own misery will do everything they can to pull others into it. That has nothing to do with you. If you take their words or actions personally, you're taking ownership of something that was never yours to carry. You're letting their brokenness become your burden. And the moment you do that, you give them power they don't deserve. That's why silence is so powerful. It says, I see what you're doing, but I refuse to participate in it. It says, your words may be loud, but they don't hold weight in my life. People who go around disrespecting others aren't looking for truth, they're looking for control. They want to get a reaction. They want to feel superior. They want to believe they have the ability to shake you. But when you stay quiet, when you don't give them what they're looking for, they're left with nothing but their own reflection. And that's what they're really running from, themselves. Now that we've understood the true strength in silence, let's dive into how this wisdom can empower you not just in dealing with disrespect, but in achieving your bigger goals. How do you channel this energy into your own success and create the life you truly desire? Let's explore. As we discussed earlier, silence is not about weakness, it's a strategy, a way to maintain control and power over your own emotions. But how do we handle the moments when we're faced with disrespect and the temptation to react is strong? How do we rise above these situations with grace and dignity? Sometimes, the best thing you can do in the face of disrespect is walk away, not out of defeat, but out of wisdom. Engaging in pointless battles only drains you. You weren't put on this earth to convince others of your worth. You're not meant to go back and forth with small-minded individuals who can't even treat themselves with dignity, let alone respect you. You have bigger things to focus on, bigger goals to accomplish, a bigger purpose to fulfill. Some people will never respect you, no matter what you do, and that's perfectly fine. Their respect is not a prerequisite for your success. Their validation is not required for your growth. What they think of you does not define you. What defines you is how you carry yourself, how you move forward, and how you refuse to let their negativity take root in your spirit. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember, it's not about you. It never was. It's about them, their struggles, their emptiness. You don't have to accept their baggage as your own. Stay quiet, keep your peace, let them deal with the weight of their own words. Because, in the end, disrespect speaks louder about the one who gives it. There's a moment that happens right after you've been disrespected, a split second when your emotions rise. Your pride flares up, and everything in you wants to react. It feels like a crossroads. One path leads to an immediate response, the other to silence. Most people choose the first path, thinking that by reacting, by saying something sharp, by firing back, they're defending themselves. But the truth is, when you react emotionally, you're not proving your strength, you're handing over your control. Dignity isn't found in how loud you can get or how well you can argue. It's found in knowing when to walk away. It's found in refusing to be dragged into something beneath you. People will try to pull you into their negativity. They'll push your buttons, test your patience, and try to make you step out of character. The second you do, you've already lost. Because now, you're no longer operating from a place of wisdom, you're playing their game. That's why silence is dignity. It's restraint, it's power, it's the ability to look at someone who's trying to provoke you and, without a single word, say, you don't have control over me. And that's something most people don't understand. They think silence means weakness. They think if you don't respond, it's because you're afraid. But real confidence doesn't need to be announced. A lion doesn't need to roar to prove it's a lion. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. The one who always has something to say. Who always feels the need to prove themselves. Who always has to have the last word, deep down. That's not confidence. That's insecurity. True strength is measured in how well you can hold yourself together when others are trying to tear you down. It's in how well you can walk away from a situation, not because you couldn't respond, but because you knew responding wasn't worth it. Some people will insult you just to see if they can get you to step out of character. They'll test your patience, throw words at you hoping one of them sticks. And when you respond, when you react, they win. But when you refuse to give them what they want, when you hold your peace, when you don't match their energy, you take all the power back. They have nothing left to feed on, nothing left to hold over you. The best part is, when you walk away with your dignity intact, when you don't let them break you down, you stay in control of your own story. You're not defined by a moment of weakness. You're not remembered for losing your temper or saying something you regret. You're remembered for your composure, for your discipline, for the fact that you knew who you were well enough not to let someone else dictate your actions. So, the next time you're disrespected, don't think of silence as backing down. Think of it as rising above. Think of it as standing so firm in your confidence that you don't need to entertain small battles. Think of it as walking away with your dignity, knowing that no matter what they said, you never lowered yourself to their level. Because, in the end, that's the real victory. There's a certain power in patience, an ability to let time do what words never could. When someone disrespects you, the first instinct is always to react, to set the record straight, to demand an apology, to make them see their mistake. But here's the truth. Most people who disrespect you aren't looking for understanding. They're not interested in reason. They're not thinking about what's fair or just. They're acting from their own ego, their own insecurities, their own need to feel bigger by making someone else feel small. And when you react in that moment, you step into their world, where chaos and emotion rule. You meet them on their level. And once you're there, you've already lost control. The strongest response is no response, not because you don't have anything to say, but because you understand that time will say it for you. Nothing humbles a person more than being proven wrong by reality. Nothing silences a critic more than watching the person they doubted, the person they tried to tear down, rise higher than they ever expected. When you hold your peace, when you don't waste energy trying to correct every insult, life itself has a way of handling what you didn't respond to. People who disrespect you often expect an immediate reaction. They expect anger, defensiveness, an argument. They expect to see that they've gotten to you. But when you stay quiet, when you don't give them what they want, it unsettles them. It forces them to sit with their own words, their own actions, without the distraction of your response. And in that silence, something happens. They start to hear themselves. They start to realize they spoke too soon. They start to feel the weight of what they said, without you having to carry any of it. It's not about letting things slide. It's about understanding that not everything needs your hands on it to be handled. Time exposes, time humbles, time reveals truth, and more often than not, the very people who disrespected you will find themselves in situations where they experience what they once did to you. That's not your burden to carry. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to wish for karma. You just have to keep moving forward. Keep your head up, keep your focus sharp, and let your success, your growth, and your peace be your only response. There's an old saying, what goes around, comes around, and it's true. People can talk all they want. They can underestimate you. They can doubt you. They can throw stones. But what they can't do is stop what's meant for you. What they can't do is undo the favor on your life. What they can't do is change the fact that the very things they said you couldn't do, you're already on your way to doing. So, stay quiet, not because you're weak, not because you're afraid, but because you know that time will do all the talking for you. And when it does, the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to watch you prove them wrong, without you ever having to say a word.